Appreciate everybody checking in.
What's up,
Yes, man.
Gerald?
We good. We good. What's going on?
Figured it out.
We got it. We got it. I knew you. So what's good? How we doing?
Oh man, another beautiful day. You know, it's always paradise out here.
Yeah. I see you rocking the Bully Buckets tee.
Hey, I had to. You see the bully buckets? I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
hard. I
we'll
like the
and
black.
we'll we'll definitely talk to James a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it looks like there's some people who already joined, so let's start with introductions. I will let you do that first. Introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, I appreciate everybody checking in. I see family coming in. I see players checking in.
Mhm.
As always, we appreciate all the love. You guys always hold us down. So much appreciated. My name is Gerald Cannon, CEO of Ballers Bridge. Ballers Bridge, we're a media tech company, obviously in the sports space. And what we do is we capture, we create, and we share high quality content on athletes around the globe. You know, that's what we do around the clock. And that's Ballers Bridge.
I love it. I am Dre. I am out in California, actually. I do a lot of video highlights or highlight videos, recruit reels, things like that for all the athletes here in Fresno. Not all the athletes, a lot of the athletes out here in Fresno, Northern California, Southern California. And Gerald and I met probably about a year ago now, and we've been kind of just doing some work together. And the newest thing is NIL for us and BallVerse, which is something that you and I both kind of created, and that's basically going to be NIL all the time. So yeah, so far so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we're moving. And
Right,
this is
right.
step. I think, it's hard. People don't see the work that goes into it, but this is a big step. I'm excited about it. I
Right.
think from an IL perspective, for me, playing and coming up as a hooper, playing college basketball, I never understood why players weren't able to monetize off their likeness. We, as athletes, regardless of the sport, I think your sport is your focus. How can I get better? How can I get to the highest level? And that's around the clock. There's no summer jobs, internships. When I was in college, everything was focused on how do I play, how do I be the best athlete that I can be, and obviously maintaining and juggling a tough school schedule as well. So, I think that now that NIL is finally available, this is a big time, and that's why it's important to me because I've been following this since, playing and just always saw it as necessary, and now it's finally here. I think it's important for us to be at the forefront of it, to be a reliable resource for players, parents, their families, if they're interested in NIL, to be able to come to say, I'm interested in this and I need help. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I want to do it, and I think that's necessary.
Right. And so first of all, for those who don't know what NIL is and don't feel like you are on the late train because it is so new that people still don't really understand it or necessarily know what it is. So what NIL is and basically what it means is NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. And so essentially what that means is high school athletes and college athletes can now get paid based on their name, image, and likeness. And that means anything from getting endorsements from a company. They can host camps. They can have merch, like one of the players that will be on later. And that is hashtag no friends. That's another player that we have, another line. Anything basically that utilizes the athlete's name, he can monetize that. So there is so much opportunity. There's also a lot of work that needs to be put into doing that and being able to monetize, and that might be something that we talk about on another show. But at the end of the day, high school athletes and college athletes are eligible for this, so it's definitely something that if you are an athlete, get to know, get some information about it, be knowledgeable about it, and take advantage of it as much as you possibly can.
Absolutely. I think my role is just kind of pushing for me, I think that obviously everything starts on the court, like, or the field, or whatever it is, whatever sport you're participating in, like that's where it starts. You have to be the best possible player that you can be, for because I think that being able to do both, to be an athlete that's excelling in your sport, I think that's going to make it even better for you on the NIL side.
Right.
To do that, I think that your film and your content is your resume. You know, that's what's going to open those doors, whether it be athletic scholarships, whether it's if you are looking to potentially play professionally, like you're going to your content be able to get there. So having that content, having that video, I think it's going to open that door not just to what happens on the court, but then also brand building, social media, NIL, any of those things. I think it all kind of plays a part. So that's what I'm excited about, and that's how I think that we can really help our athletes really elevate. Is
Mm-hmm.
having them the right way, so when those opportunities do come, they have everything packaged together, so then they can just go.
Right, right. So Gerald, you and I have talked about this on multiple occasions, but why let the people who are watching, it's been something that you and I are very passionate about. So why are we so passionate about it? Why are you so passionate about it? And why are we wanting to be part of the NIL besides, wanting to help these players? Like, you kind of talked about you've been that athlete, wondering when we were going to get paid, or when you were going to be able to get paid, or college athletes are going to be able to get paid. But it goes a little bit deeper than that, especially now that we're out of that phase and, just trying to give back and trying to make that, I guess, that happen for other athletes. So like, what is our part in NIL?
Yeah, I think a lot of different things, and I think like you said, we can kind of dive into this over a number of different shows. But I think when you look at the players, their power is it's just bigger beyond belief. For me, I think, when I look at brands, I look at major brands, they're cool, whatever shoe company, drink company, whatever company it is. But what powers that and what people get excited about is, I believe, the athletes, the people that are behind it, the people that we see out in the streets, see every day, out wearing the stuff or out supporting it or showing it. And I think the power lays in the athletes. And I think that this is their opportunity. And like you said, this is a brand new market, for them to be at the ground level. Like, how many industries are you able to get in at the ground level and be able to build something when you're not playing anymore or competing? Like you said, we're not playing anything anymore. How do you build or set yourself up for success after sports, and after that time is over? And I think this is a great way. And there's so many different opportunities within NIL, that players can take advantage of. And I think that it's on us to be able to break that down and show them, so then that they are able to capitalize on it.
Right. And let me just add kind of a side note to that. Athletes now, because of NIL, essentially have turned into influencers, like kind of like micro influencers, right? So essentially that's what it is. When you are representing a brand or, endorsing a brand, you are an influencer. So for those athletes who are watching right now, if you've seen or of any other influencers on Instagram or Facebook or any kind of digital media, that money definitely comes with that. So if you do it the right way, there's definitely ways to make money. And I think that, again, like, going into that will be a different show. But the next thing I kind of want to get into is, why is it important for the athletes to be part of NIL? And I think you kind of answered that, so I don't know if we need to elaborate on that a little bit more, but essentially kind of setting them up for success in the future, whether that means they go to the league, whether that means they play overseas, whether that means after college maybe they don't want to do it anymore, or they don't have, they don't take it to the next level. There's still being able to set up this kind of NIL thing kind of sets them up successfully for on a financial level, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, again, I can only use myself as an example. I think one of the toughest things for me was transitioning out of sports. I haven't played college, played
Mm-hmm.
professionally. When it's over, you're sitting there with everything, it's all basketball, all teams, then you're back and you're looking like, okay, what's next? How do I transition out of this? What we're thinking about is not only just monetizing and making money for now, which is awesome, put some money in your pocket and be able to build a brand, but set yourself up for when those times are over, to have, you think about the athletes. I know James is going to come on. Just think about how much James is learning right now, already.
Absolutely. Right.
I'm learning. You're learning. You know
Hmm.
what James learned already, with setting up a logo, with creating a store, with marketing, with he's learning so many different things. He's not even in college yet.
Hmm.
So I think those things that he's learning is going to set him up. He's going to be so far ahead because not only is he going to have the knowledge, but he's going to have a crazy following, and he's going to have everything already set up that when basketball is over, he's going to be like, I'm ready. I'm ready for what's next. And I think for so long, we were never ready for what's next.
Right. And I have to add to that, you mentioned that James has, he's learning as we are learning in this process, and, he's learning the marketing and everything that goes about building this brand. And within that is work. So at the
Work.
end of the day, James is putting in a lot of work. So and we've talked about this too. I applaud him for that. So if you are an athlete that is interested in something like this, know that it is work, I mean, like any other business, but I do think the experience and the knowledge you will gain is going to be worth it 100%. It's going to be fun, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a lot of knowledge that you gain, but you have to be ready and willing to work as hard as you are on the court, whether you're a basketball player, on the field if you're a football player. You just have to be able to put in that work for NIL as much as you are on the court if you want to be successful, and kind of just learn the ins and outs of it, and it'll definitely be beneficial. And while I'm going to segue. I don't have a good way to segue to it, but also while we're talking about this, I mentioned it earlier, BallVerse is going to be our main outlet. So if you want to
Look,
follow, it's at Real BallVerse on Instagram and on Facebook. We're starting that up, so definitely follow that. It's going to be all NIL all the time, whether that looks like players that have endorsements, whether or not we're working with those players, any kind of rule changes, anything like that. Ask us any kind of questions, and we got you covered. Gerald and I have done a lot of research on this, and it's been fun. It's been a journey, but we have a lot of valuable information. So feel free to ask us any questions, and if we don't have the answers, we're more than happy to find them for you. So
yeah, Real Ball Verse. Make sure y'all go. Y'all check that out. Everybody who's tapped in, everybody who's going to watch this later, make sure y'all go follow it. What we want to do is, like we said, if you're a student athlete, if you're juggling being the best possible athlete that you can be on the court, the field, whatever you're playing in, and then trying to juggle and keep your books together and keep your academics where it's supposed to be, and you're thinking about NIL, you're going to need help.
right.
There's nothing wrong with that. This is a new space. This is something new. So you're going to need help. You're going to need a resource, and we want to be that resource. So Real BallVerse, check it out. Make sure you tap in. I'm confident with what Dre is doing and the knowledge that she has in the space. We need someone that drilled in, that is in the trenches, when it comes to these different things, that knows the in and outs, that will go find that answer. And that's incredibly important, and that's huge for us. So make sure y'all tap in, make sure y'all go follow her, and everything that's coming out moving forward.
Before we bring on James, I just want to talk about one last thing. Who is eligible for NIL? And as of right now, all high school athletes and all college athletes. However, there will be some rules that might be different in California, where I am, compared to Georgia, where you are, compared to New York, where James is. So while there is opportunity, always be aware of what might be different, what you might not be able to do. I will tell you this much: as a high school athlete, you cannot represent your school. You can wear school colors. Let's say I got you an endorsement with Ballers Bridge. You can wear your school colors, but you cannot have a shirt that says Bullard High School or whatever high school you go to. So keep that in mind. There's a bunch of little things like that. Of course, again, maybe another video will go into that, into a little bit more, but definitely questions, come our
Is that
way.
you're gonna be breaking down as far as like the states and being able to inform players depending on the state that they're in, what they're eligible for, and what opportunities are out there for them?
Right. If I can get my hands on all of that information, I definitely will. It's been a little tricky for me to get that information, because of I don't necessarily know all the time who to contact. In California, I was lucky enough to have a CIF contact who got me in contact with like the main CIF people out here who gave me the handbook and broke everything down for me. So, and I can't imagine it's that different from state to state. And I think the biggest thing would be, and this is going to be for college too, the biggest thing is going to be the school allowing you to represent that logo or not. I think that's probably like the biggest change, at least what I've, or the biggest difference. That's what I've come across at least. So it's state by state, it's school by school. And it could literally be as easy as you just asking your athletic director or the in our case it'd be CIF, like that organization in your state, hey, can I do this or can I not? And if I can't find the answer for you, I'm sure I can, but I'll dig as hard as I can to find the answer for you. But it's kind of like just a case by case, to be honest with you. It's really, I feel like there's fine lines everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's still early. So
right.
I think that feel that you're looking into it and that, you know, that's something that you're already up on in California and these different states. So I think, like you said, as it continues to move on, having that information available will be there. Let me go ahead and add in. Let me go ahead and add in James.
Okay.
James Prescott. James, what you got? So I just sent them the invite. So James should be in here with us in a minute.
And James Prescott, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to let him introduce himself, but he is, what's up, James?
What's up, y'all?
There he is.
I like the hair.
My boy Fresh.
It's different every time I see him, I swear.
I had to get the little dye in my hair. I had to try it out. Gotta get something new.
Hey, James, before I really let you introduce yourself, you posted something on Facebook the other day, and it looked like it was a screenshot of a video, and your teammate was dunking, and you were in the other guy's face, like making a face at him.
Yeah.
You're known for your faces. I swear, you make the craziest, funniest, like, it's more, I know it's just like your emotion, like talking on the floor, right? Which I love. But do you have that video? Because I would love to see it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we got to get that. If it's cool, we got to get that on social. But
for sure, got you.
Now, back to your introduction, James Prescott. Go ahead and talk about yourself for a little bit. Introduce who you are, where you play, you know, all that good stuff.
So my name is James Prescott, class of 2022 from Portsmouth, Virginia. I play at Vision Academy Prep School in New York. Really, ain't nothing to it. Just a regular kid, you know, play basketball, same stuff, do the same stuff as everybody else, just love the sport. And I just got the blessing of Dre and Gerald to help me build a brand with the NIL, you know, take advantage of that while I'm in high school. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, you know.
So you have been, sorry, Gerald, I'm just like taking over right now.
Question. I got a question.
Go ahead.
What's the hoop looking like, man? I like the way you compete on the court. I think that's what, first of all, with what we're doing, you know, attracted me was like, man, look at this kid play. You know, and I've been following you since Virginia, you know, during your time in Cali. So just talk a little bit about how it's going on the court. I know you mentioned your school where you are, but what are you doing on the court, man? What you making happen out there?
For real, on the court, I'm just like playing, like for real, like as of me going to New York, like build my confidence up, like actually made me into like a better athlete. Like I run more, longer stamina, got stronger. So as of me knowing that I put the time in, like it just built my confidence up on the court, like to just show what I got to do, like, cause I don't know, for me, like I've been looked over my whole life. Basically, like since I was young, like I was one of them type players, like back in third, like some people don't even know, like I was one of them fat kids, like at the end of the bench, he scored, everybody get hyped, like one of them type kids, like, and some people really don't even know that, like people be thinking like, oh, I've been known for a long time. No, it just recently started happening. Even that I am known, I still be getting overlooked. So for real, it's I just been, that chip on my shoulder just been coming out basically.
James, what kind of work did you have to put in to go from that, and this is your words, not mine, that fat kid on the end of the bench, to like, people know you. You came to Fresno for a year and people know you. You made an impact. You made a name for yourself out here. You're doing the same thing in New York. So what did that journey look like? What kind of work was that?
A lot, like it really was a lot. Like for me, Like you can ask my dad. I used to eat a pack of Oreos, and like I was really a fat kid. And for me, I was a football player at first. Like my main sport, like I really liked the football way more than basketball. Like you can ask people like that I grew up with, they'll be like, man, I was cool. Like, I used to trap people like that. I used to like contact, like tackling people. I played middle linebacker and running back, so it just translated. And then I eventually grew out of my weight, and then I grew and then got skinnier, and then I started playing basketball, and then I was just like, I'm just go all the way with this one, because that's when I got my first offer my freshman year from Xavier. And then basketball take off, like less pain on the body on the long term, because like you only get one body. In football, you know, you running, you getting tackled, like your body sometimes, like, you know, eventually your body gonna not want to take that pain no more. So I just like basketball the safer route for me. So I was just like, I gotta play that. And it was more fun, actually. Like just growing up, like I used to have all the nicknames. Like back in rec league, they used to give me nicknames like the Truth, like all that.
The Hooper.
I'm glad you brought up nicknames and the past a little bit, because Bully Buckets is something that came from the past. Not, I don't think it was when you were really, really young, but what is Bully Buckets and how did it come about? Also, did you notice that I have your shirt on?
Yeah, that's hard.
Hey, that's hard, bro. I need one.
Yeah, that's hard. I need one for the warm-ups. People asking me, they need them. It's coming.
All right.
But basically, Bully Buckets is being a dog on both sides of the court. Like for me, like you just on on offense, you know, you could get a bucket or you could set your team in the right position. But basically, you just got that mentality of a dog. Like I want to do this, I want to do that. Like you know what you're gonna do, and nobody ain't gonna stop you from doing it. And that's just how it came. And then how it came about was in 8th grade, I went to Neo Elite Camp, and that's when I met like JoJo Bean here, West Virginia commit, Chris Livingston. You know, he go to Oak Hill. My guy Deli, Sean, he in Ohio. He committed to I want to say Hosford, but a lot of tough hoopers that you'll see on like Slam and stuff today. We just always like, we came about, and then we always saying that we was gonna do it. We never came through like making shirts and stuff. So I was telling everybody I'm gonna eventually make shirts and stuff, and then here we are today.
And here we are today. I love it. I love it.
I love the Bully Buckets. I think for me, like if I'm looking at point guards and we are guards in general, you know, for me, like you gotta be a dog. Like you gotta have that mentality, like that bully bucket mentality. And I think that's why when you said it, when I first heard it, I was like, man, that's hard. That's a hard tag. And I can see that really being something that people, you know, really gravitated towards just because I think it hits. Why NIL? You know, I think to have that, you know, like a brand in mind, or say something while you're on the court, like I'm a bully, you know, I think that's huge. But why do you think out of everybody at the camp, when you were talking about it, you were like, man, I'm gonna make this shirt and you guys are gonna see it? What was it about? Why for you? You know, why is that in you that you were the one that wanted to go past just talking about it or saying it on the court and create an actual brand out of it?
Because it was actually like my play style. Like that was the way I played. Like I was really a bully. Like you can ask people, like my mom, she even a fan of it. Like me stealing the ball from people, like me really yanking it from somebody. Like I really be getting in a position to take the ball from people, like do like bully type things on the court. So it just flew with the game, I guess.
But what about the entrepreneurship part of it though? Like what made you want to start a brand off of that and really want to build something that now you see Dre rocking? I'm eventually, can I get a shirt? I'm going to be wearing.
I got you.
I want to with my nieces, my nephews. Like why that part of it, the entrepreneurship side of it?
Basically because NCAA, when they allowed the, you know, new rule that in high school you get paid through like NIL and different deals, for me as a, you know, even just anybody in general, like why miss out on that? If they give me the opportunity to take that deal on the NIL to start my own brand in high school, well, I'm taking that, like no questions.
Right.
And to actually get benefit and profit from it, just from off my name and image and likeness, I'll do that any day.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that you literally like took the words out of probably our mouths. We've said many times, like take advantage of it, right? Like why not? And Gerald and I have told you this, and we were talking about this before you got on. Like, you have actually been, like, you're actually putting in work on this too. So we do thank you for that, you know. But for those who are watching or maybe interested, like, let them know, like, kind of the behind the scenes. You know, it wasn't all fun and games, like, for anyone all the time, right? It was a fun journey, but sometimes, you know, I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to get this done? Or how, you know, like, it's a journey and it's work. So, and you've done a lot of it too. So let people know, like I said, like, the behind the scenes, you know, yeah, you got this dope ass brand, but what kind of work did it take? So people understand that, you know, it's just not about, like, making money like this. Like, it's not that easy.
You actually got to put your time and effort into it. Like, for me, you'll benefit of what you put in. Like, if you put in the work, all right, it'll come. Like, eventually your brand will succeed, like, start growing. But it all depends on the time and effort that you put in. Like, you can't just depend on somebody else. Like, all right, if you partnership, all right, the time you put in is what you're going to get out of it. Don't expect to put little into what you trying to think going to happen and have these big dreams if you're not putting nothing into it.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like on that we can almost just end it. Go ahead, Joe.
I think we were saying before you even tapped in that I think what you're learning right now, I think Bully Buckets is the start. You know, that's a brand. I think I could see the brand being around forever, but I think I can see you doing so many other things because you have a personality. You're not just a good athlete, smart kid. You got a great personality, and for what you're learning right now, and you work. You know, like you said, you're not willing to just sit there. Man, the sky's the limit, bro. Just keep being a trendsetter, man. Keep being, you know, a leader for the next generation, showing people, inspiring people. And I think you're going to see a lot of other people coming up to you, man, and not just buying your brand, but picking your brain, bro, you know, and wanting to learn from.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So I have the shirt on today, but your first merch item was a sleeve, and that was a conversation that we had at this point. It hasn't been a full year. Earlier, yeah. Like mid last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I remember having the conversation with you and saying, hey, yeah, we could do a shirt, but maybe something different. Like, what else, right? And then you were like, let's do a sleeve. So, what, excuse me, what made you want to do a sleeve and do, like, you know, essentially doing something different, a little different?
Cause, like, it was a lot of people making shirts and stuff, like, when they first deal and stuff came out. So I was just like, why not come out with a sleeve? You know how people wear Nike Elite sleeve? Like, let's get a Bully Bucket sleeve. Like, you know, like, it'll be hard rocking a Bully Bucket sleeve on my arm, or you could put it on your leg. Like, it's different various ways you could wear a sleeve technically. So, like, for me, it would just, like, go with a sleeve. And if they want to put on their arm, they put on. They want to put on the leg, get on the leg. Like, either way, it's going to look hard. So it was just, like, one of them type things. And for me, like, I have to wear some type of accessory. Like, I don't know. Like, I can hoop like that, but I just choose not to. I can't wear no accessory. That's like, I don't know. That's crazy.
Do you still wear your tights? Your little tie-dye tights?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next merch, huh?
Maybe.
Hey, James, do you have that sleeve near you? You better.
I think it's in my bag.
Okay, you go find that so we can show it off.
Yeah, I think that's one that stood out to me too, was when he came out and saying, like, you know, I don't want to do the typical T-shirt. I want to do a sleeve.
Right. Okay. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did. So explain why you did the color scheme, because that is not your school colors, but you decided to go with the red and black just because.
Those more of a, like, neutral colors. Like, I felt like for the start of the brand, you know, most people wear, like, white, black, and red. That's most schools, like, team color. So I went ahead and just did it that color for the start.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. What do you do when you go in the gym, man, and you see, you know, your friends or see somebody rocking the sleeve? What does that do for you?
For real, it's just like, just knowing that people actually support me. It just feel good, like, knowing that I put the time in and stuff. Like, I even have, like, friends and stuff that be wanting me, like, they be like, let me get some gear, and I be like, I got you. Like, it's actually people that actually wants to support, like, when shirts and all that, like, because some people don't wear sleeves. So when the actual more gear and we start dropping more merch, like, they'll for surely support. So just knowing that people willing to support me, like family and friends that I even grew up with that I didn't do most of my life. It just feel good. Like I'm doing good with myself. Like I'm doing good, the product of my environment.
And let me add to that, the sleeve is for boys and girls, and you actually had a girl hooper order one. I don't know who she is. I don't remember if you said you know who knew who she was, but keep that in mind. You know, like I think that's great that you did even though it's a sleeve, you know, it's open to both, and girls are rocking them. So I like that. I like that. I feel like I like that you're not just necessarily targeting other guys. It's
It's
whoever.
unisex.
And
Unisex.
I think the brand name says that as well, right? Like it does it. It's not like male heavy. It kind of goes both ways. So I definitely like that too.
A lot of girls are getting bully buckets right now. And they'll
Right.
bully off against dudes too, and that's a fact. So
Yeah.
So I have one final question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be a tough one. So if you need a couple seconds to think about it, we'll give you a couple seconds. So what does your brand, and I mean Bully Buckets, and I mean you and your image and who James Prescott is, like what does that brand represent? Like what do you want your brand to represent? Sit on that for a while. Also, Gerald, I'm sorry. That was your question.
Like that. For real, I want to represent a mentality, like just a play style. Like eventually, I just want everybody to be like, "Oh yeah, that's a bully bucket." Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, as it grow, I know it's gonna end up happening. Like, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, that's a bully bucket for sure." Like, you're gonna have people just screaming it. Like,
so it's gonna be like it's gonna be what is it like? It's gonna be a verb. Like they're gonna use that to describe something.
Yeah, like that's
okay.
a really bully bucket. Like he a bully. Like it's gonna be like that.
Okay.
I like
Changing
it.
the world, huh?
Yeah.
That hits, man. Everybody go support Bully Buckets. Get behind James. James, man, I love what you're doing, bro. I believe in you, man, where things are headed. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to get my own merch, but I'm excited to see how far you take this, how many things that you spin out. Like I said, I can see this going far beyond the sleeves and the merch. I think that's just the beginning, and I'm looking forward to it, bro.
Yes, sir.
You got your biggest fan on, too?
Yeah. He's funny.
Who is that?
My
that's yeah. I mean, can I get some love? No? Okay. They all know me too. All right. Well, I think that's it. Are we good, Gerald?
That's it. I'm
James,
excited.
thank you so much for joining. We appreciate everything that you're doing and all the work you're putting in. And we know that literally the sky is the limit. We're going to keep pushing it for you too. Anyone else who's interested in see, there you go. If anyone else is interested or has any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. I'm at Dre _ Avalos. James Prescott is at JPrescott3 _. Is that right, James?
Yeah.
Okay. Ballers Bridge is Gerald, and then also we're starting real BallVerse. I need to slow down. Real BallVerse, which is going to be all of our NIL content. So make sure to hit them all up. When we repost this, we'll tag them all so we can get some love on the other pages. But don't hesitate at all to reach out with questions, and let's get some stuff going for sure.
Absolutely.
I want to shout out to Gerald, for supporting me. Dre, I want to shout out to my family and friends back in the 757, VA, town right there. Shout out to my pops for helping me. He been there through it all. So shout out to all my family and friends, the ones that support me, even the ones that hating on it. But
there you go.
It all comes back. You full circle.
Y'all come back. I appreciate everybody checking in. Excited to keep things rolling. We got a lot more coming up, so stick with us.
Yes,
all right, family.
Be safe.